guys, welcome to this episode of Context is King. I'm Rebecca Brayton, and with me as always is WatchMojo founder and CEO Ashkan Karbasfrooshan to discuss working on vacation versus totally shutting off. As you can see, Ash is tan. I'm also tan, but I didn't go on vacation. But anyway, so did you work on vacation or did you totally unplug?
Okay, I'm not in a good way. I'm not normal. I don't think I'm representative. Like I created a job for myself that it isn't a job. So but also as an entrepreneur founder, I think you technically have to always be somewhat connected. So this isn't about, I think, founders, realistically. I think that's a bad example. So I always work. I think, years ago when my in-laws visited us when we were staying in New York, they were like, oh my God, Ash just is always working. But I think
wasn't that a working vacation though, like technically?
Yeah, but it was more that they would see that I was on, like, let's say when I'm not sleeping,
right.
I was kind of working. But here's the thing, I think that there's a lot of BS about these kind of one-size-fits-all, cookie-cutter solutions, not just for everybody, but even for a given person. What I mean by that is, let's say I wasn't necessarily running WatchMojo. We have a great team now. I've delegated so much, I could shut off totally now, and the company runs itself really well, So I think where people make a mistake is they kind of go, here's a generic advice and everybody should heed it, which does not make sense, it's not realistic. But even individually, it's not healthy to say, I will always do this or that. There are points in my life where I probably would take a vacation and totally just take this, throw it in the ocean, and never open my email. I think where you kind of make a mistake is when you kind of think that there should be this golden rule for everybody. But more importantly, I say as, let's say, the CEO, I actually tell my team, try not to look at emails in the evening. Definitely don't look at emails over the weekend. When you go on vacation, just go on vacation. I understand that then what if there's an emergency? But really, what is an emergency? And frankly, what can you do realistically when you are across the world? You could check for your own peace of mind, but I actually prefer it when people totally shut off. And the reason for that is because I have so many emails to read, reply, process. I can't just send them out Monday at 9 a.m. People would get bombarded, if you think across the organization. So in order to purposely scatter them, I'll reply sometimes on the weekends or evenings because otherwise people's inboxes will, like some people will get multiple emails, but shut off, go away. That's the beauty of, even if you want employees to have a sense of ownership, you want them to just disengage and come back refreshed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very nuanced conversation because a lot of people are trying to make sure that they're invaluable to their organization. So like if the organization realizes that they can handle a week without this person, then what do I need you for?
But that's a very different kind of like unhealthy way to look at it because realistically...
I know, but that's the reality for a lot of people now.
That's true, but I think that ultimately if you are really good at your job, you should be able to be self-disappearing. I know it sounds bad. You want to build a system that if you're not there, doesn't fall apart. The losers in life are those who
but not everybody looks at it that way.
I understand, but that's why hopefully you watch these videos because it's a different take and you're like, you actually don't want to be that person that makes themselves so important or kind of makes their head that big, right? So if you really, really think about it, for you to be promoted, you have to make yourself vanish. Otherwise, you're like handcuffed to the wall.
You get so good at the thing that you don't do the thing anymore.
Yeah, and I know this is very different because I think successful leaders get that. I think, I worked for a dude who had a lot of good traits and a lot of bad traits, and that was one of them, is like he didn't want people to go on to better things. That's not really a healthy thing, right? So generally speaking, I definitely think that like at different points of your life, there's different advice that applies to you, but there's no coded messages here, do the opposite. When people are on evenings, vacations, weekends, shut off, go away. If you want to check email, read and all that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's great to come back and not have 400 emails.
Nobody ever has 400 emails from me.
Oh, I definitely do.
From me?
No,
okay,
just in general.
In general, yeah. We do live in this era where we send way too many emails and we don't talk enough, let alone in person, even on the phone. And there's too many replies and all that. So I think that's maybe the main takeaway, which is balancing do I need to send this email? For almost every email I send, I start an email and I delete it, discard it. Just imagine, because I'm like, this doesn't need to be an email.
It's like writing in your diary.
Which is really good if you want to, like, sometimes just write an email to yourself. You get the satisfaction and you don't actually send it and you spare a lot of grief.
Just don't actually send it. So when you guys go on vacation, do you actually unplug or do you keep up to date with all your emails? Let us know in the comments and see you next time.